Good afternoon. High Tech, Derek speaking. How can I help you?
Yeah, this is Cletus the plumber. You're an idiot.
I'm sorry? Okay, what makes you say that?
Well, you called out a leak under a sink, and I'm telling you, it ain't there. You doggone home inspectors, nothing but a bunch of scam artists. I'm sick and tired of coming in after you and having to show the customer what an idiot you guys are. You didn't even say where the leak was.
Okay, all right. Well, I tell you what. Let's just start at the beginning. Who was the client? What was the address?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith at 123 West Main Street. You think you can find that?
Give me just a second. There it is. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It says, looks like I said it was underneath the bathroom sink.
Yeah, but where? Is it a supply leak, a drain pipe leak, a cracked sink? Is it in the overflow drain? Where the is the leak?
Well, forgive me for asking, but isn't that what the client hired you for? You know, to diagnose and pinpoint the leak so you can give them a bid for repairs?
I wouldn't have to if you just did your job. You're half inspector if you can't diagnose, cite code, and tell me what needs fixing. I'm just plumb sick of you guys.
Well, again, I'm looking right at the report, and I wrote leaks observed beneath sink while draining. Did you fill up the sink and drain it and look for leaks underneath?
Hell no! That's your job!
Okay, well, I tell you, I don't want to be unprofessional and criticize your ability to plumb, but that sounds like a silly thing to say. I mean, seriously, just go fill up the sink and drain it and watch for leaks. If you still can't find the leak, then I'll come out and help you with that. Oh, and you're welcome for all of the repair business we home inspectors find for you. Have a nice day.
I'm gonna beat you with a garden hose, you worthless.
I'm Derek Palmaville, and you're watching Home Inspection Bites. Well, welcome back to another edition of Home Inspection Bites. I'm really excited to talk with you today about who doesn't know much about home inspectors, and that's contractors. Now, I've been inspecting for nearly 30 years, and I've developed this love-hate relationship with contractors.
You're an idiot!
Don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like them, but dang, I've been thrown under the bus so many times, I've got tire treads on my chest, permanent.
So I'm telling you, he missed it, just plain missed it.
I've even seen some of those so-called helpful videos from friendly contractors on YouTube explaining how home inspectors are mostly lazy and incompetent. I also occasionally hear from clients after the inspection how the contractor came out and showed them everything I missed after they started taking things apart and found the cause of the problem I wrote in the report.
He'd have to be blind as a bat.
They parade their brilliant discovery like a newborn baby.
Oh, it's horrible, all right. Practically the end of the world.
And as a result, buyers and sellers' emotions get elevated, and suddenly everyone's an expert except the home inspector.
Yeah, they're such idiots. Ain't their fault, though. They's born that way.
Well, here's the truth about us. We're there to describe your new home and what you're buying and the overall condition of several systems and components throughout the home. We're there to find important, relevant issues affecting the livability of the home and direct you to the most appropriate contractor for your next best steps. Think of your home inspector like your primary care physician. Why do we have a primary care physician? Well, it's so we don't have to go to 30 different specialists each year for a checkup. Imagine how time-consuming that would be. And when you go in for an annual checkup, your primary care physician asks a lot of questions, performs a thorough examination, and if, let's say, they hear something unusual in your heartbeat, they'll most likely refer you to a specialist, a cardiologist. Now, let me ask you this. Would you let that primary care physician perform exploratory surgery on you out of pure curiosity right there in the exam room?
You remember that water flow issue Mr. Dumbfudge wrote in his report? Well, I had to take a couple of them old steel pipes apart to find the problem.
See, a good physician performs that thorough examination and directs you to the most appropriate specialist. That's what home inspectors are there to do. In most cases, we help narrow your focus to 1, 2, or 3 contractors so you don't have to hire 10 or 12 just to get the house checked out.
So your pipes are so bad, it's a wonder the people in there don't have rust-stained skin and teeth.
You see, it's all in what we call our standards of practice, or SOPs. Most states require licensing for home inspectors these days, and every state with a licensing law has drafted standards of practice to make public the duties and responsibilities of a home inspector, and they even describe acceptable limitations. Those acceptable limitations are things that prevent a home inspector from getting to all of the required areas, like snow on the roof or storage in the garage. Even if your state doesn't have licensing, Many home inspectors are certified by one of two national associations, ASHI and INTERNACHI, both of whom have rigorous standards home inspectors have to meet in order to maintain that certification. Now, these standards, they've been around in various iterations since 1976, and they describe everything you need to know about a home inspection. They describe exactly what a home inspection is and what it's not. Every home buyer and seller should read through them before the home inspection so they know what to expect. And then they won't fall for the con job that some contractors pull after the inspection when they come out to do repairs recommended by the inspector.
So, like I said, best thing you can do for the continued health and safety of your family is to re-pipe. Yep, that's simple. Re-pipe. Just be sure to get that idiot home inspector to pay for it. That's what he's got the insurance for. You did make him show you his policy.
All right, so slightly exaggerated, but not too far from the truth. Now, we're not saying every contractor does this, but some do. They see that home inspector as a pawn and their insurance policy is a payday. To make matters worse, they detail out the problem in such a way that makes it sound like it's the end of the world, scaring the buyer so much they believe their only option is to take their so-called expert advice and repipe the house.
That moronic, sorry excuse for a home inspector, he ought to pay for new pipes.
Now, if Mrs. Jones had read the standards of practice, she would have understood how the home inspector is a generalist, performing a non-invasive, non-technically exhaustive inspection, and the inspector isn't supposed to take pipes apart, or anything else for that matter. They can, however, the home inspector, note the aging pipes and the restricted water flow at the fixtures, and recommend the plumber reevaluate that whole situation and make recommendations for repair before they buy the house. That's the whole point of the home inspection.
Don't you worry yourself none. We'll get it all done this October and you'll be good as new. Should cost less than $15,000 too. Real steel.
So the next time a friendly contractor tells you your home inspector missed something, just compare what they're telling you to the standards of practice to see if you really did miss it. I can guarantee you most contractors haven't read the standards of practice, and they really know very little about a home inspector's job description. But nearly every trained and certified home inspector in the United States these days has been trained not only in modern building requirements, but past requirements that could apply to your home. We're a lot more knowledgeable and helpful than many contractors care to admit. Ask other questions too, like whether they had to dismantle anything to find that problem they say the home inspector missed.
I see. So you took the pipes apart and found this?
Yes, ma'am. All by myself.
Remember, home inspectors only remove access panels, like at the furnace and the electrical panel. Another question to ask is whether there are any other more cost-effective options.
Yep, yeah, it's $15,000 to repipe the whole house.
Aren't there any cheaper options? The home inspector said some of the piping was the newer plastic stuff.
Well, you know, just the worn-out steel pipes.
The more questions you ask, the more options you'll have.
Aren't you licensed by the state?
Well,
And the more informed you'll be about your new home.
And don't you have standards that you're required to follow?
Well, of course, but I'm not a home inspector.
Now, finally, I know buying a home is an emotional process.
Well, it's like, you see, oh, hell, it's practically the end of the world. I mean, the homeowners have rust-stained skin and teeth.
But try your best to ignore the emotions and stay focused on the facts. Let's look at fact 1. If the home inspector met their standards of practice requirements, they did their job, and you have a wealth of information at your fingertips. Fact 2. If the contractor finds hidden problems, he did his job too.
All by myself.
I'm sure your mother is proud, Mr. Cletus.
If he quotes tens of thousands of dollars to repipe the house, for example, and he's blaming the home inspector,
The home inspector didn't even document the corrosion inside the pipes. Dumb.
your next best move is to get another bid to corroborate his story. Better yet, give the home inspector a call. Ask him to help you to put it in perspective. Good afternoon, High Tech, Derek speaking. How can I help you? You'll find most home inspectors are professional, friendly, and very willing to help. Fact 3. Just because one guy did their job doesn't mean the other guy didn't.
Well, you should still tell a home inspector he's blind as a bat.
So when it comes to purchasing a new home, educating yourself, staying focused on the facts, they go a long way. If you're concerned or if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at info@homeinspectionbites.com. We'll be happy to help you out with any questions you have about your home inspection experience. We promise to stay objective and apply our decades of experience when answering your questions. See you next time.
All right, bye-bye.